Hey everyone, it's Ryzen.
And Liz.
Welcome to the preview for the Patriots and Bills. Obviously, it's the biggest game of the year. It's probably the hardest game of the year because it's at Buffalo.
But the Colts game is at Indianapolis.
Yeah, but that's after a bye.
Mm.
The Patriots don't lose after byes. They just don't. With 2 weeks to prepare, they hardly ever lose. This is preparation is their biggest advantage. So the injury list, it's actually much smaller. David Andrews with his shoulder, Barmore still with his knee, Bentley with the ribs, Bolden with the knee, Brown still with the calf, Folk with his knee. Just never, just always on there every week. It's amusing. Oshesky with his ankle. Ronnie Perkins is on here, but he was just downgraded to out. I know it's a huge loss because he's played 0 games all year. I'm serious. He's been inactive in every single game. So the fact that they took the time to downgrade him to out is like hilarious to me.
Yeah.
He's always out.
So the bigger concern though for the Patriots.
Is Kyle Duggar still on the COVID list?
You cut me off again. I didn't even get to finish my statement, bro.
Yeah, I like to finish your statements.
Yes, Kyle Duggar is still on the COVID list, as is J.J. Taylor, which doesn't matter because I'm pretty sure he lost his job.
Who cares about Taylor? I care about Duggar though. I'm confused by that because Duggar is vaccinated. And he was put on the list, I think, early last week, so I'm surprised he's still on it.
I don't know.
I mean, Jesus, dude, how unlucky can you get that you have the vaccine and you still get COVID? And now that you still get COVID, you get COVID for over a week? That's insane.
It's a long time, but that would be like me. When I get sick, it lasts forever.
I mean, the same thing happened to Chubb. Chubb had the vaccine, and yet he somehow was...
out for like 2 weeks, right?
No, he missed 1 game, but
Oh.
I mean... Look, it's not the biggest loss because you still have Phillips, you still have Devin McCourty, so it'll be okay, but...
And McCourty's actually having a really great year.
Yeah, McCourty's having a career year, so it's fine. It's just...
Sucks because Duggar's
issue.
having a great year too.
And it's the wrong game to miss, frankly.
Yeah.
The Bills have almost no injuries. They got Cody Ford, well, except for the one. Cody Ford with his bicep. Reggie Gilliam is their fullbacks. They had a question with an ankle. And defensive end Ife Obata. I don't know how you pronounce his name. He was a full participant though. So was Ford. So I don't think they're going to miss anybody. For the Patriots, I would expect everybody other than Perkins to play, and Perkins never plays anyway. And Duggar, I at this point, I'm expecting him to miss the game.
The Bills' major loss is Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. Not only is he done, he's probably career done.
Could be.
Because he's a corner tearing an ACL.
You don't see many guys in that position come back.
I mean, they come back, but they're never the same.
No.
There's a reason, even Gilmore is not as good as he once was.
No.
It's not something you come back from.
Oh, did you see his latest interview that he gave about the trade?
No.
He said that the Patriots trained him too hard in practice, so that's another excuse.
Sure.
That's like the third story he's told.
All right, yeah, God forbid you work hard in practice.
Because he was still recovering, and he said they worked him too hard.
Yeah, dude, you're not going to come back if you don't practice. I mean, it was limited practice, saying you still got to work on techniques.
From what I was told, that he was offered very good...
He was offered a good contract.
Whatever.
So, game's going to be windy. It's going to be cold.
It's going to be wet.
Might snow, but it's not
The wind
likely.
is the bigger concern there.
10% chance of snow.
But it's supposed to be a very windy evening.
I know people think that that's going to affect Mac Jones. It's going to affect Buffalo more than the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I mean, when they played the Colts a couple weeks ago, the Colts just dominated them in the weather.
Yeah, look, the Bills are a dome team, and I don't know why they set their team up that way, but they did. They set themselves up like the Kansas City Chiefs, which is just baffling. I don't understand.
The Chiefs don't even play in a dome.
No, but they play out west where it's warmer.
Well, in the winters it's cold where Kansas City is.
I know, but it's not like northeast.
I guess, but they do have cold winters in the Midwest.
They're out in Missouri.
Yeah, it's Midwest.
Yeah, I know.
It still gets cold there.
But you have to be able to run the ball. I know it gets cold. It doesn't get as... whatever. It'd be like...
They deal with more like ice than we do.
They don't deal with the kind of winds and... whatever. If you live in the Northeast, you know what I'm talking about with the weather. It gets bad. I don't understand. I mean, they set themselves up like fine. They set themselves up like they're the Saints, like they're they're not.
They need to have a team that can play in weather conditions.
Yes, they need to be able to run the ball, and the Bills can't run the ball.
They also can't stop the run to save their lives.
Not only can they not run the ball, they choose actively not to run the ball, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
So
their team is very strange.
Yeah, I don't know. You're not playing in Houston, Texas, so I don't understand what the Bills were thinking.
Yeah, they're not a dome team, like you said.
They're not a dome team, and yet they're set up like one. So
do they have any running backs that are decent?
They have like Singletary.
He's a good player, isn't he?
Not anymore. The guy sucks this year. All three of their running backs are terrible.
Singletary used to tear the Patriots up.
They used to be good.
Yeah, he used to be a really good player.
Then they regressed and they never addressed it. And it's probably more their O-line than anything. Their O-line is bad at run blocking.
Well,
so
that's bad for them.
I know it's very bad for them. So their O-line.
Guess who's going to be in their face all game?
Their offensive line is bad in general. Like there's not. That's really
that does not bode well.
Weakness.
That does not bode well for them, considering we have Judon, who's having a monster
It's
year.
not just Judon. The problem that Buffalo is going to face in this game, if the Patriots execute their game plan correctly, is they're going to push the pocket in with Barmore in the interior, and they're going to contain on the edge. And when Allen gets pushed back in the pocket, he has a bad habit of not setting his feet, and that's what then he throws all the interceptions.
I see.
So that's what the Patriots are going to do to him. It's not going to be an easy game overall, but I do think...
Because the Bills are like, what, number one on offense or defense or something?
They're number one on...
Overall
on offense, technically, but they're actually good defensively, statistically speaking. They're actually even decent against the run statistically, but you look at the teams that ran well against them...
Yeah, the Colts had 5 rushing touchdowns on them.
They get out physicaled at the line. And that's the problem with the Bills. So that's like a misleading stat. It's like with the Chargers had a good run defense until they didn't, because they get out physical, and that's the problem.
Today they're tearing the Bengals up alive right now.
That's weird.
They are crushing the Bengals today.
That's weird. But whatever.
Again, a team that's inconsistent. Anyways.
I don't know. The Patriots are gonna. I would imagine they're gonna come in the game, run the ball.
They're gonna have to. The weather's gonna be shit.
Run the ball effectively, control the clock, and pressure with front 4, push the pocket in, and keep 7 in coverage, and that's probably going to be the game plan. And something similar to that. The Bills will probably try to counter it with some RPO stuff, but
never works against us.
I don't know how effective that's going to be.
Wasn't effective when the Rams tried to do it in the Super Bowl. I expect
the Patriots to win this game. At least I think the Patriots are going to win this game. I think they're a better team overall. The Bills have more talent at some positions, like receiver. Their receivers are definitely more talented. But they have a significantly worse offensive line. They have a worse defensive line. Secondaries are about even, but losing White is a real problem. Like I think people
he really is a great player.
I think people underestimate just how big a loss it is, because it's going to force the Bills to play a lot more zone now. It is, and
because he was basically their number one corner, right?
Yes. On top of which, now they're going to have to lighten their boxes, because you have to compensate for that secondary being weaker.
Right.
Well, what's the one team you don't want to do that against?
Us.
Yeah, it's New England, it's Tennessee, the Colts, and yet that's what they're going to have to do going forward. That's a big problem.
When do they play Tampa? Next week?
Yeah, the Bills have
Brady's lighting up. I mean, minus that pick 6 he threw, he's lighting up the Falcons today.
They're in for a rough stretch, because they got, 3 of the next 4 games are the Patriots and Tampa. So there's some chance Buffalo collapses. I don't think that's going to happen, because I think they're too talented, but I don't know. This is going to be a tough game.
I'm going to say the score, since the weather's going to be shitty, supposedly. I'm going to say like 2017. I really have no clue.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to win. I think they're going to win.
I think it'll be a close game.
21-17, something like that. I think they are going to win.
If the weather's crap, it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think.
No. I don't know. honestly, the Patriots can lose this game and still be fine because if they just beat Buffalo the second time.
Right. They just need the Ravens to lose.
Well, if we lose this game, then we need the Ravens to lose twice.
Oh, right. We still need them to lose.
But I mean, the Ravens are going to lose probably 3-4 games. The Ravens are. They're basically the Pittsburgh Steelers of 3-4 years ago. That they won like 10 games in a row, but everybody knew they weren't actually very good.
They're like a gotcha team.
Yeah, every game the Ravens win are a struggle. It's either
they get sheer lucky.
I mean, how do you? Lamar threw 4 interceptions in one. I'm sorry, that's impossible. You cannot sustain that kind of poor quarterback play.
No.
And that's what they're getting out of Lamar right now in Baltimore. They're being saved by their defense. That's not going to last. It's not going to last.
And then in their game this past week, they got saved by a lucky catch by Andrews.
I know.
An incredibly lucky catch.
Circus catch nonsense. So
yeah.
that luck is going to dry out for the Ravens. And
it always
they
does.
know it too. They're not stupid. That's why they have to address their severe issues on offense.
Right.
So I expect the Ravens to lose at least another 3-4 games.
Yeah, because I would not want us to be in a situation where they're the number 1 seed and New England has to go there to play.
Even if we did, we would cream them.
You still think we would?
Baltimore is no threat whatsoever. They are the weakest number 1 seed I've seen in a long, long time.
I guess that's right, too, because when Lamar's in the playoffs, he's not great either.
He's been awful in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Look, I've never been a fan of Lamar. Baltimore.
I just always think about the Ravens and how...
Every time he throws the ball, I get worried he's going to throw an interception. Or basically, Lamar wishes he could carry Josh Allen's jockstrap. I'm not kidding. Like, Josh Allen is a significantly better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Josh Allen has gone like this, and Lamar has gone like this.
Lamar's either plateaued or regressed, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Allen has really improved.
Allen's actually a good quarterback. Lamar is mediocre.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, the Bills did a good job for getting him.
He still has some mechanical issues, like when the pocket collapses, but other than that...
So does Jones, though.
Yeah, but Jones is also his first year.
Yeah. That's something Mac hasn't figured out yet, is what to do when he can't get rid of the ball. Sometimes he'll just take unnecessary sacks.
I mean, sometimes he doesn't read a sack properly.
Right.
Or read a blitz properly.
He just doesn't
what it is.
know how to react to that yet.
Whatever. I mean, he'll adjust as time goes on. Whatever. So we'll see what happens in this game. Hopefully, I'm sure Barmore won't play. If Barmore doesn't play, that's going to be a big problem because it kind of ruins my whole game plan that I'm thinking I'm going to go with. But I'm expecting he'll play. Hopefully, he plays well.
And then after this, it's the bye.
Yeah, then we got the bye. Patriots win this game, and they're pretty set to put distance. If they win this game, they're for sure winning the division.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
They lose this game, it's 50-50. So we'll see. See how the crowd is, too, in Buffalo. It's going to be raucous because they're going to be pissed off.
They're going to be pissed off, and it'll be interesting to see how they all are if the weather's total garbage. They'll still go because their fans are just crazy.
Well, they're going to go because they were promised that they were going to dominate for the next, 4 or 5 years at least, and apparently not. The rumors of the Patriots' demise were exaggerated, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. It was 2 years ago. It was bad.
It was COVID. It was a weird COVID year. COVID derailed the team.
Yeah, they lost their franchise quarterback.
Brady left. You got Newton. He was playing extremely well, actually. Then he got COVID, and he was never the same.
Right, and he still isn't the same because he got benched last week.
And you guys, not a great quarterback to begin with, but they were getting something out of him before he got COVID.
Right. I mean, they did. He was really good for the first 4 or 5 games, and then after that,
he got COVID.
Wasn't the same.
And then that derailed the
season.
Plus, they had all those opt-outs. I mean, half the team was gone. Right. And they still won 7 games, mind you, and were competitive in almost all of their games.
Right.
So
they did the best they could with what they had.
People underestimate how good a coach Belichick is. It's just a reality. The guy's the best coach in the NFL, and there's no debating that.
I mean, the other coach who's somehow the Titans are still holding things together.
Well, Vrabel's a good coach.
Yeah,
so.
They're still holding together by like toothpicks and gum. Like gum and...
Oh my God, Kat. Okay, whatever. Let's end this because this cat is super annoying. Whatever. So we'll see. I don't know. I got it's a 50-50 game, really.
It could go either way.
I think the Patriots will win, but we could lose.
It could be a 6-0 game with the weather. Who knows?
Jones could come out and be horrible in the cold, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Who knows?
He was pretty good against the Titans, and it was cold.
Yeah, he did pretty
It was,
good.
36 degrees. I know it's gonna be like 25, but there's not that much difference between 25.
36 and 25, no. But if the wind's whipping around, then it'll be different.
We'll see how he does in the wind, I guess. But I don't know. It's a lot of short passing game anyway. So
That's
yeah,
what they, yeah.
you know.
He's not going to be throwing deep balls and 40 mile per hour winds.
But neither is Josh Allen.
No, neither of them will be.
So they're not stupid. Unless something's wide open, they're not going to do that.
Right. There's too much risk when the wind is whipping around like that.
And we'll see how Jackson does against Diggs. Diggs was really good against him last year, but
Yeah.
but this is also this Jackson, who is one of the best corners in football now. So
If not the best corner in football.
arguably the best corner in football.
I would say he is the best corner.
He is one of the best.
I can't think of anyone who's better than him.
I mean, him and White were like 1A and 1B at this point this year.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see. I expect him to shut down Diggs.
Or whoever they have him
No,
on.
he'll shut down Diggs for sure. Or he'll be on Diggs, and hopefully he shuts him down. All right. Well, we'll see you for the recap. Hopefully we get a win, get a W.
Yep.
Take care.